All right, guys, here we are to talk about Lemony Snicket Series of Unfortunate Events, Season 1, Episode 4. So what did you think, Lee?
The Baudelaires are in some tough, unfortunate events. In this case, unfortunate means not fortunate.
I did not like this episode as much as I liked the last episode.
I like this more than the last one.
Really? Why?
Yes. Because it was better than the last one.
Explain why you think it was better.
No, like, things are moving now, and I'm kind of liking how much... Because I think, like, in the first, midway through the second episode, it was like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, is this just going to be this? And, like, every, for, like, the first two, reviews, we were kind of like, I don't know about all this, whatever. The third one kind of kicked it in or whatever.
This was better than the first two episodes, don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah, totally.
But I liked that last one a little bit better.
The last one was okay. Like, the last one, very good, but, like, if I had to chart it, it would just, continue to be getting better or whatever.
So what was your favorite parts about this episode?
I never write any of that down.
Well, what made you believe this to be better? Just an overall vibe, or what are you thinking?
Like, it's faster paced. There's more jokes. They're better. It's coming faster. It's more things are happening. We're moving in, like, a certain direction.
Okay.
This is the part 2 where, like, we set up the next, set of episodes and all that stuff. I don't know. I laughed. There was awesome stuff in it.
What made you laugh? Do you recall?
I laughed at the fake hands on the guy.
I was going to say my favorite part was the peaches
constantly.
Yeah.
And all
Do you
that
want
shit.
the peach? It's like a fork dangling on his hand.
It's just the thing is holding the thing all precariously. I love Mr. Poe's like rant. Do you remember when he sees the snake with Sonny? And he's like, "Oh, it's phantasmagorical. It's this, it's that. You're police officers. Do something. Call somebody. Call an ambulance. Call my wife." And he's going all crazy and running around. It reminded me of like Belushi in Blues Brothers when he's like, "My car broke down. I ran out of gas.
Yeah.
I hit a thing. I did this. My alarm didn't go off. I'm sorry. I love you." And he's going through this whole. I was like, "Oh, this is great," because that guy's been so like he's been like a Tea Party or something. He's been this weird like this like horrible this weird character the whole time, and to just snap out of it and kind of go like, "Oh my God, this is horrible."
When he calls the police or like we need a coroner and like they'll be a while. Oh, they got here. And when he calls the police, they're here already. The town is amazing.
The response times are very good for a house in the country. Anyway, no, I don't know. I laughed more during this one. It was like a bubbling like pace for me. It was easier to get through.
The pacing's
and
definitely
feel good
stepped
about
up.
It, you know?
I like that they showed the dead body.
So
I didn't think they were going to do that. And
one of my first notes is this shit is dark, because they hang on that shot and his one eye is all fucked up and all that stuff, and I was like, holy shit. This is not, and again, I'm an adult, it's fine, but I'm like picturing the intended audience, and I'm like, shit, this is fucking grim. And then when they do the Count Olaf thing, and he's like, "Klaus, you're so smart, but it seems like you keep forgetting about this," and he has the knife, and so I was like, "Oh, that's great, that's hilarious. You're gonna murder these children? What?" Like, it was fucking like a dark.
I was like, all right, he's gonna aerate that fucking luggage, and then he does, and I'm like, that's the wrong one. Okay.
And that's not the one she's in, I think, and all that stuff and all that.
No, he got a little bit more MPH in there today.
Yeah,
and I like what he's doing. I think it's cool. I definitely, the first time I saw that little statue thing, I'm like, that's that person.
Okay, good. I wrote down because eventually it's like, statue is Jackie, duh. Because like it was clearly a person, and that's the only person, even with all the makeup on. It's like, isn't that just her? And then it was her. But that, I don't know.
I half pictured once she revealed herself to take one napkin and go, and be totally clean. But that didn't happen, and I respect it.
I really liked how she just had the makeup on for the entire rest of her, because she didn't have a chance to take it off, so she still had it on. And that makes it even crazier with her getting on the boat and confronting him and doing all the things she's doing, where I'm like, you're just this fucking golden lady in like leather, hooker boots just running up to this thing. Like, that's crazy. I guess that's how you get in, but still.
Wonderful.
Oh, amazing. The ankle tattoo misdirection thing.
Yeah.
When he goes through the whole like it's not, look at that and all that shit, and then they call back to it later.
The way Poe goes, like to lower your sock, that made me laugh.
This fucking thing. No, I know, because they like draw it out so much that like reminded me of like the Pass the Pot stickers. I
was watching that going like trying to think, was it on the inside or outside?
Yeah. I was so.
Because they didn't make him lift the other leg, so I'm like, were they sure which leg it was? That seems like a what?
I went through all the same thoughts, and like I'm glad that they didn't make it like it's on the other side of the ankle or something, which would be super like nitpicky and dumb. They just made it that it was covered with makeup and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I liked that ride, and there's a few things in here I didn't write them all down, but like. I think the episodes, they're either getting better or it's just better examples of it, where like they set something up and then they like pay it off. It's not this weird thing of like, okay, we get it, but it's also not this thing of like, oh, LOL, we're so random. It's this nice thing of like.
There's some you can chart some things.
Yeah.
And the show overall, is getting better. As I liked the last episode more than this one, it's still. I think I even said like if they all remained on par with this, I would be fine, and like I'm okay.
How much of a drop off are you feeling though?
Not dramatically. I just really I liked that episode more, and that could be down to personal preference. Like,
No, I'm not attacking.
I like that guy who's now dead.
Monty was good.
So he's obviously it can't be as good as the thing with him because he's not in it anymore. But no, it wasn't a bad episode. I thought the deep voice guy with the wig was interesting looking.
The nurse?
Yeah.
Oh, the
other guy. The cop. He was
the cop.
Yeah.
Watch your service.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy. Yeah. No, that's fucking some of that stuff. Like this had like a Clue vibe or something like that.
Little bit.
Like a million of these people.
It's over the top.
And he's like, that doesn't make any sense. And they go, oh, this or something like all these weird.
Maybe I could wait with the children. You're the nurse. That doesn't make any sense.
No, that wouldn't. He says it like, oh, I'll set you straight. Not like, what the fuck's wrong with you? It's like, well, that wouldn't work because who would conduct the examination or whatever? Oh my God, fucking. And then the whole thing, when young whatever her name is. What's the
Klaus's
Violet?
sister.
Klaus's sister? Not Violet. Summer Glau?
Sure.
Tina Turner? What's her name?
I have no idea.
We got it. She's like, why don't we wait here and you go in with the nurse? And NPH does this long thing. He's like, please, child, if I was standing closer to you, I would slap you in the throat and all that stuff. I laughed so hard at that. The delivery of that, him stretching it out for so long, and literally saying in front of everyone now, like I would slap you in the throat.
I wonder if they can even hear him sometimes.
I know. Like
what he says.
The other adults, you mean? Yeah. No, I know.
It doesn't make any sense.
That's the most
it's funny.
It's the most frustrating thing, like about the show in a way. I've always hated. Like, do you remember on every kids show ever?
Sure.
When a character would be replaced by like a robot version or like a doppelganger version, and then that character would go around everywhere and fuck everything up, and like the real character would show up like 2 seconds later, and they'd be like, "You threw water on me" or something. And be like, "What? No, I didn't. Stop lying!" And this whole thing would happen.
Yeah.
That used to bother me so much as like a kid when like no one was getting it and it was this fucking thing. And I realize now that that's something people do to play with children's emotions or whatever. But this show has that undercurrent of that, where all the adults are useless and they don't know what the fuck's going on, and even when you think they know what's going on, they don't. And it's meant to get the kids engaged. Like, it's right there. Don't you see it? Oh, my God. But it also still, like it's one of my, like, pet peeves, I guess. It frustrates me when I watch
Whenever something's not as I expect it to be, it frustrates me a little bit. Like, when they realize what killed Monty, they're like, oh, it's the most deadly snake ever. It's loose. They don't leave the room or go outside or get away from where it could just spring out and kill them. If it killed, like, the foremost world expert of fucking snakes, you're probably going to die here.
They kind of highlight that because it's like, it's a quarantine, and he's like, that doesn't make any sense, or whatever. Like, I like Poe being like, that doesn't make any sense, and kind of like calling stuff out more, but then still being useless in other ways and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's his game.
Him being like, arrest him. No, you don't. Oh, are you all in on the whole thing or whatever? I was like, okay, that's good. Yeah, there was like too many things in this that I was like, okay, that's pretty good. That it would like wore me down or whatever after all the, I don't know.
Oh, it was decent, and I do hope it keeps on this path of rising. I like the parents in the they call up Monty, and then they break that pool cue and they're ready to fight.
Yeah, and so that's the ending. They're in Peru. I love that every time we see them, they've advanced like an entire Indiana Jones movie's worth of like distance.
Yes.
But we just ignore that and we go like, wait, how do you have these other clothes? Why are you in this like bar?
It would be very cool to see a show all from their point of view.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It would almost ruin it because it'd be like, well, of course, it's this like ridiculous chain of events. But they were like on a cliff and had like no way out or something. Yeah. And now they're just like all clean and done up, and he's in like a suit or
A
something.
cliff where it's like, why did that door even exist?
I know. I love doors to nowhere like that. Was there a bridge? Did it fall? Did actual Indiana Jones hack it off in the earlier thing? Like, what's happening here?
But like, even if you just think about it was a huge metal like safe door that leads them to that cliff.
Yeah.
How would that get installed?
Helicopter.
Oh.
No, I wasn't clear if everybody in the bar was like, we gotta fuck these people up, or like why the music stopped, or if they heard them, or what that means, or if they're in on it, or I wasn't sure what they were trying to tell me there, but I was okay with it.
A fight was about to start.
Well, that
all I need to know.
That was received loud and clear, and I liked the whole like, who can help us charter a plane? I was like, okay, fuck yeah. But the whole thing, that was another callback where she's like, yes, first name Montgomery, last name Montgomery. No, this is not a crank call. Like, several times throughout the thing, people are on the phone explaining something. No, it's not a crank call or whatever, because his name is Monty, which is fucking crazy. Not a crank call. I wrote that down. I'm gonna cross that out now.
Cross it out.
Fucking the incredible the incredible Deadly Viper callback thing or whatever, with it being open and all that stuff. I love Neil Patrick Harris being like, leaving the scene of the crime, very suspicious, and all that stuff. I was like, oh, that's pretty good.
What do you think he'll play in the next one?
Well, they're going okay, so like, I think originally my guess was going to be that the joke was going to be on Poe and like the judge and those people, and they were going to like all stay. But it seems like Poe stays alone. There is a new person. Okay, so I thought Count Olaf maybe wasn't even Count Olaf, and he was going to play like the
next relative.
Uncle whoever, aunt whoever, cousin whatever. He was gonna just be that person, and they were gonna be like, this is fucking this is the same guy. Oh, children, fucking relax. And it was gonna be this whole thing. But yeah, he just shows up as another. So not knowing anything about the aunt, I have no idea how to predict who he'll be.
Yeah.
But it will be that same sort of thing. Jessica haircut.
I had a haircut scheduled today.
Shit like that.
I want to hear what this haircut has to say.
Little gems like that, because like him saying, I'm going to hear what this haircut has to say. That like indicates that he understands English well enough to know what the fuck is happening here, but is still ignoring it and being useless, right? That's this hilarious, like, something about that really clicks with me and I like a lot.
He's decent.
I really hated him during the first episode.
He reminds me of Stanley from The Office. Like, they don't have the same delivery, but they have enough of a thing.
Stanley from The Office.
He did the crossword puzzles.
Why, because it's a black guy?
No, it's the cadence of like how it's like slow and drawn out, and it makes it like very funny.
Yeah, no, and like him coming to a conclusion and having it be so weirdly not the right obvious fucking thing every time, but pulling it off. Because he never says, oh no, I've been an idiot, that's ridiculous, I'm sorry, right, you're right, no. Oh man. He's just like, okay, listen, that may be, but we have to go do this. And you're like, what? Want to strangle you?
No, it was all right. But like, lots of little things happen. Nothing crazy big really jumped out at me as funny in this one though. I liked when he's driving down the way, looking the wrong way, and the guy and Poe's coming in, and he swerves, and the fucking thing breaks through the windshield. Yeah. Why would you drive like a maniac? I was driving well below the speed limit.
Below the speed limit. Yeah, his fucking delivery is amazing. There's the Dakota scope thing gets mentioned.
Yes.
Klaus realizes like what it is, or at least
she's gonna get it back for him.
That it's something. Yeah, I expected her because she was holding.
I thought she was gonna give one to him.
I thought so too. That's actually what I wrote. Statue is Jackie. Does not give her Dakota scope to Klaus.
When I first saw her in that, I thought it was gonna be. I thought that was her. I thought she was acting like a statue, and was just gonna, and he was gonna go by and pull it out, and she was not gonna reveal herself as a person, and then like walk away.
Right.
That's what I thought was gonna happen.
Interesting.
That didn't happen.
Yeah, I didn't expect Olaf to escape through the tunnel, and for them not to realize it so readily or whatever.
Yeah.
But then she knew, luckily, and tracked him. Thought it was kind of funny that he left pieces of his costume at every fork in the road or whatever, just to indicate where he was going or whatever. Like, okay, that's fine. That's like how things work.
Well, do you think he knew he was being followed that far?
Oh yeah, no. He's so
just. If you think about how he gets a costume by stealing it off of people,
exactly.
He can be just as brazen taking off his clothes.
That's brazen's I was gonna say I'm looking for the word here. Like, he is not the slightest bit concerned with how anyone else. He's so self-centered that the brazenness of just him tearing through life, like the way he treats his henchmen that he depends on for so many things.
Yes.
It's just like, yes, lure them away, or like, no, I can't do that. What's wrong with you? And fuck you and all that.
Eat a peach.
Eat peaches. They're good for the skin. Yeah, just this whole dumb troop like running around and like trying to like distract them, and yeah, they're talking like right in front of everyone and back and forth and all this shit. It's so crazy, and
The world is so
are people
oblivious though they
supposed to
can do
know?
that.
Oblivious, yeah. Okay, so the whole thing with like with like the adults again or whatever.
Yeah.
So I've been saying every episode like there's this theme of like adults are useless and it's this whole fucking
Affirmative.
world or whatever. Well, but like as in many kids things, it's like the kids who like know the real truth and all the adults are useless here. But here they're like really on the nose, like hammering it home, where he literally says the adults are talking right now, and then Lemony Snicket says, "You've ever been excluded from a conversation because of your age? You know how the Baudelaires felt right now, or whatever." Like,
Yeah.
they're really, you know, because that's going to resonate with the audience, right? That's the whole like thing that happens.
Everyone knows that shit.
Yeah. Well, but like here, usually kids are just young idiots, and you know, adults.
Unless they're the main character of a TV show.
That's
or
what
a
I
movie,
mean. Like
yeah.
adults seem oblivious because they don't care about the bullshit that you care about because you're a tiny idiot person. But in you know in like popular stories and media, it is the kids who really are like the Harriet the Spy. Or
Sure.
whoever, you know, Penny and like Inspector
Harry
Gadget.
Potter.
The Harriet the Spy Penny Potter of everything.
Harriet the Penny Otter. That'll be my next hit book.
Hmm.
What else happens worth noting in this episode?
Yeah, I'm trimming down some stuff that we already talked about. Talked about the Viper.
Nothing else is jumping out at me, but I'm sure something else happened.
He mentions that he actually did, you know, he was the one that got Gustav. I drowned him in the reflecting pool or whatever. So, like, in case...
Yeah, you didn't know.
Like, they didn't show it, so, like, there might have been some doubt or some room later to make it into, like, oh, that was this, or, you know, it could have been any of his hench people or, like, whatever, but he calls out specifically that it was Count Olaf who
He
shot
was
him with the dart
also
and stuff.
still planning on going to
Peru,
Yeah.
yeah.
So there's something there.
Well, so to, like, address your concern, he you know, they drop in a line where he's like, I'm going to take advantage of Peru's very lax guardianship laws to, like, get your fortune
Yeah.
or whatever, which is insane because the Peru thing was not introduced until the thing with Monty to help
and he
him
has
escape.
the tickets. He's like, and like pulls the tickets out in magic
I
style.
liked the magic trick ticket
MPH
thing.
is a magician, so he actually
He's
does
a
that
fucking
stuff.
magician?
Yeah.
He is a magician
Mhm.
in my heart.
No, he's actually a magician.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
A lot of people are magicians that are famous, talented people.
Well,
Pretty
you know,
cool.
they're rich. They have time to learn.
Well, who's a magician? Chris Rock or someone? No, someone. There's someone who you're like him? Eddie Murphy? I don't know.
I don't know. I've not heard either of those ones, but I like the idea of it.
So,
I want Chris Tucker to be a magician.
well, he's a magician of a whole different type. Well, and speaking of Count Olaf, he gets away. You forget, my love. The snakes shed their skin, and then he fucking drops the coat.
Yeah.
But
Just,
that's
like dives out.
yeah, it just jumps out in like his skivvies type of thing out of the boat, and she's like,
Uh-huh.
blast. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
He's right there.
Uh-huh.
What's wrong with you?
Nah, it's too far. Come too far.
It's a delicious kids thing. So there was a part in the middle that I wanted to highlight where there was
Sure.
an
What do
awesome
you got?
there's an awesome rewind scene that happens
Uh-huh.
because you know he says back at the ranch and all that shit, and then they eventually end up backing everything up and like rewinding. And rewinding's not a special or like good or like new thing or something like that. But the way the camera's moving and it's rewinding and all that stuff, I really enjoyed it. It was actually really, really good. And I wanted to call it out as like an awesome thing.
All right.
It was
noted.
it was followed almost like directly after by a fucking horrible thing,
What was the horrible thing?
which was the thing with the Sonny nibbling the key and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
I was like, what the hell am I even looking at? Like, you're to expect she can change keys to be like science?
Everything about that made no sense and was horrible. And like they've had her nibble things off camera and like semi on camera. Here she was just doing this. And then like they played like a noise of like brrrr, of like the like nibbling
Yeah.
or whatever, and then she handed like thanks Sonny, and I'm like, why is this in this story? This sounds like something from like a different book or like story. It does not fit here at all. It's crazy,
No.
and it hurts me.
Yeah, it's a weird character to have in this because everything else is like, while it's like not plausible because of idiocy, it's all in the realm of the real world except
Yeah.
for her mouth.
I know, right? Really, right? That's like the one. There's really nothing else, is there?
Nothing.
That's horrible.
Just her mouth.
Because I was like, well, it's sort of like a surreal world, but it's totally not. She's the inventor and he's the reader, which are like not superpowers you should have.
The inventions are on par with her mouth.
Okay, true.
But they, like, inventions could exist. Like, not the way they're displaying them, but
No, but like, Jesus. that's the kind of rooted in like reality fantasy stuff that like makes sense. MacGyvering stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway.
However unrealistic it may be.
Yeah.
But to chew things into workable keys or polished round rocks is a little strange.
And why, like, it's fine if you want to do a weird thing, but I go back to, like, again, like, why is that in this? Why is this here? This doesn't make sense with the rest of, like, the world.
No. But if that's our worst problem, that's not that bad.
Well, what do we think about now going forward?
I've been looking forward to each episode since it's like 3 because it started to get entertaining. I like the little jokes. I want there to be more of them. I want to see what it builds to. I want to see what the next MPH character is. I don't know if it could be funnier than this guy.
Stefano was pretty good.
It was pretty interesting. But I'm down to find out, and we're gonna check it out.
Yeah, we're gonna meet Aunt Josephine. We're gonna see what the fuck that's all about.
All right, guys. So until next time, don't die in a fire. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and we'll see you next time.